There's a hilarious new report. It's stunning to me that this would be a headline ever, but particularly in nearly September of an election year. There is a CNN piece about how he's really thinking about starting to campaign again. Wow. He must really be into this, right? So I'm going to play this story from CNN for you with the caveat that what we are evaluating here is this really something Trump is going to do, or is this actually more of a sign that Trump wants to lose, as we discussed earlier? Let's take a listen.
All hands on deck for Republicans and the Trump campaign, sources tell us, as the Trump team shifts strategy to try to cut off Kamala Harris's momentum.
Obviously, the Democrats are on a sugar high. Everybody's acknowledged that. And I think that gets real after Labor Day. If you look over the history of all presidential election years, I mean, that's when people really begin to pay attention. So the rhetoric and the little bounce they get out of the convention is always expected. But I think that Kamala Harris is about to be put to the real test.
Now, that was House Speaker Mike Johnson there on the campaign trail this weekend. And this week, Trump's team is ramping up his schedule in battleground states ahead of his first debate with Harris. CNN's Elena Treen joins us now. So, Elena, I mean, look, first of all, just tell us more about how the Trump campaign is ramping up their efforts. Let's start there.
Explain how Trump is actually going to campaign.
Okay, well, look, I mean, I think there's no question, Omar, that the Trump campaign sees what is happening with the Harris campaign. They have been frustrated. We've talked about this for weeks now with the surge of enthusiasm that Harris has continued to enjoy. We actually saw a memo from Trump's pollsters that they released on Saturday saying that kind of post Harris becoming the candidate honeymoon that they had anticipated was going to extend beyond the convention, saying that some of the favorable polls that she's enjoying are expected to continue longer than they had initially anticipated. And really, we are seeing the Trump campaign shift their strategy because they have this new opponent. That includes ramping up aggressively Donald Trump's schedule. Remember, Donald Trump does not really travel as much as a typical candidate. He was really holding about 2 rallies a week up until recently. I'm told that is changing for the next few weeks between now and November, the next 2 months, I should say. They are going to really ramp up that schedule. You're going to see him traveling daily, many weeks, if not holding 2 events per day. I'm told one Trump advisor told me, think Trump on steroids. This is going to be.
Okay. So what they're kind of trying to say is Trump's really considering starting to campaign again. And if you look at the schedule, that report is like a day and a half old at this point. He still has only 2 rallies on the calendar. He has a rally tomorrow in Wisconsin, and he has a rally Friday in Pennsylvania. That's it. So far, we're not seeing 2-a-days. We're not seeing 1-a-days. We're seeing Trump with only 2 events scheduled, period, and J.D. Vance with a couple of events next week. And of course, that's if he makes it that long, because we have new signs that Trump really is considering replacing him with RFK Jr. So what is this about? I don't have any idea. I'm coming to you. Does Trump's ego and his personality allow him to deliberately run a failing campaign because he's realized he actually doesn't want to do this and is probably going to lose regardless? It doesn't really sound like it. At the same time, he is not running a campaign that you run in order to win. So is it that he has a physical limitation? And that's why, I don't mean like his leg's broken. I just mean there's a limit to what he feels up to doing physically. He's not a young guy. Maybe that's a factor as to what's going on. I don't know whether this guy is still in it to even try to win it. That's the question I'll leave you with. After the break, we're going to get into the wild new criticism against Tim Walz. It's very funny. The weakness of their attacks shows us how scared they are. I want you to remember that my forthcoming book, The Echo Machine, is now available for pre-order on all websites and in all formats. We just surpassed 1,200 pre-orders. Let's go for 2, which would put us in the running for the New York Times bestseller list. If we could get then from 2 to 5, then we'll really be cooking. But we'll get to that a little bit later. davidpakman.com/echo, or search any website that sells physical books, ebooks, or audiobooks for The Echo Machine by David Pakman. We'll take a very quick break and be right back.